that.
And that's the top?
Yes.
Well, I turned the camera around, but that's okay. This is a working shop. We get an inventory every day.
That's nice. That's a nice table he's got there.
Yeah.
I've got it lined up where I want on my grids on my board.
That
Now I'm going
zipper
to use my
is
fingernail marks to make sure that left and right I'm centered.
He's putting it. That's what I'm trying to see.
Oh.
He's putting it.
And we are placed.
Is he? No, it shouldn't be. I can't. That's what I'm like. I can't
I'm
tell.
like, yeah, it's
the
like
camera angle is so bad. No, it should be this way because the zipper should be at the top.
Don't forget, you can't have this zipper all the way up against the edge of your leather. Okay, not gonna happen.
no, it's
It is that way?
it's this way, I think.
That way?
Because then the zipper head won't move freely up and down the project. Alright? So now, going back to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew down these two lines right here. Alright? So let me flip the camera around. Kind of embarrassing that you see all my mess.
Don't sew it until you watch what it looks like after it's done. So.
This is a working shop. We get an inventory every day.
Being on top like that? It should be the other way around.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But this is the front then. That's the front. I mean, that's
Right,
going to be the
now,
front.
I do want to stress something. If you're using a sewing machine,
So this will
when
be
you put
these.
in a thicker piece of leather, the stitch length is going to change.
That's what I want.
That's just how sewing machines work. So, now that this thing had
So
6
that's gonna
ounces
be on
added
top,
to it,
like that?
Yes.
I am going to adjust my stitch length a little bit to make it a little bit longer, and then it'll actually be, kind of matching the stitch right here. Because those stitches will be side by side, so they need to look, they need to look similar.
Because it's going to have to tuck in a little bit. It's going to have to tuck in.
Here I have the wrong one to do. To use my presser foot as my guide, I need to do this one.
Okay, I'm going to go take care of this.
Shove
I'll be
this
back.
through the throat of the machine here.
These scissors before I kick it and there goes my toe. I can dust it. Hold on a second.
Customized ones of these to see how far
It doesn't really make.
Alright. One thing we didn't talk about is if you wanted to tool things on this, you could tool a patch and sew.
So you're just gonna have to so do that and let's just do that. Oh, I guess so. Oh, I should be pew-pewing some driving glasses while I'm here too. Oh god! Oh my gosh, Yumber Yak! We haven't told her about the thing. Oh my god, I haven't invited.
Yeah, we need to sit down and do that.
Yeah. Yumber Yak, April 1st. I know usually you go to Nebraska and stuff, but April 1st, are you out of state? That's the end of our spring break. That's the Saturday before we come back. Miss Yumber Yak. Okay, did not come out of start because I was open. You, if she responds, let her know. I'll be back. I gotta send her a message too.
For the side of it, you can tool these straps before you sew them on. You can tool the handle. The customization possibilities are just limitless with what you can do with this. I'm just making a plain one because you don't want to skived earlier to make them a little bit thinner. Okay, so we're going to sew those pieces together here and here. And one thing we don't want to forget is our little tab that we created for this. All right, this is when that little tab is going to come into play. So what I want to do is now I am actually going to unzip it a little bit, because when I sew this, that is if you wanted to tool things. Cut that one off, and we'll re-roll the project so that the other zipper is exposed. Probably the only time that an exposed zipper is a good thing. Sorry. Got a joke.
Okay. Should we have an implant?
The rest of it. Okay, once again, I got my little fingerprint. Take this off. Alright, I got it lined up where I want on my grids on my board. Now I'm going to use my fingernail marks to make sure that left and right I'm centered. And we are placed. And don't forget, you can't have this zipper all the way up against the edge of your leather, okay? Not going to happen, because then the zipper head won't move freely up and down the project. Alright? So now, going back to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew down these two lines right here. Alright? So let me flip the camera around. Kind of embarrassing that you see all my mess while I turn the camera around, but that's okay.
Sounds like you're at a stadium. Sorry. What are you making today? Trash Pan Apocalypse, hello. Right now I'm working on a DOP kit. It's like a shaving kit bag.
Then I'm just gonna gently press it on there without moving anything or.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how it goes together. Yeah, this is some really nice. It's called Crazy Horse leather. I've taken a big liking to it. It's like an oil tan leather, so it is a chrome tan, but it has a really nice pull-up effect to it, and it feels really like sturdy too. Alright, I'm going to sew this. Babies of noobs. What is chrome tan? Okay, no problem. There's two types of, well, there's more than two types, but for the most part, there's two main types of leather. There's vegetable tanned leather, which normally comes as like the fleshy leather. It's a lot harder. You can do a lot more with it as far as like you can tool it, like stamp it, and the stamps will stay on it. You usually hand dye it yourself. It's very sturdy. It'll last pretty much forever. And then there's chrome tan leather, which usually chrome tan leather, it comes already colored. It's a lot softer. It's more of like the fashion leather that you see that's already dyed. It's used for purses, bags, upholstery, clothing, and it's usually a little bit cheaper too, because it doesn't take as long to produce it. It has more harsher chemicals kind of put into it in a way. Yeah. Hope that gives kind of an idea. Alright, I'm gonna get this sewn up real quick. Here's the view. ask me when I'm putting it together for the, on the final step.
Hi.
Alright, bye, Embryak.
Bye, Embryak. Oh, okay.
That's all super simple. Sorry, Trash Panda, I just saw your.
I told you we need paper back in here. It's working.
I know.
I might just go get it. Shit. I need.
Go get it.
Where is it? Oh my god, if you stay in the backyard. Is it in the backyard?
It's in the garage. I think it's in the garage. It should be in the garage.
Dad.
Yeah.
Okay, I have it.
Pretty good.
Together here and here. And one thing we don't want to forget is our little tab that we created for this. All right, this is when that little tab is going to come into play.
I didn't see you make a
So what I'm
tab.
going to do is I'm going to find my little tab
Please.
that I cannot find. There it is. So I have my little tab here.
Oh.
Oh, no, wait. You made a little tab. When did he make a little tab? I don't know. I haven't watched the whole video, Mark.
I have my little tab here. And what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of double-sided tape and put it.
Is this the little tab? I think that's the little tab. Oh, wait, no,
on
that's
both
the little
sides of the
tab.
tab.
There's another little
Okay,
tab.
right at the very end. Now, where this tab is going to go, here's the finisher.
What about that tab?
Okay, where your zipper is in its closed position is the handle end. Where your zipper is in its open position is the tab end. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind.
Oh, so
If you do it backwards, I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. It just won't be right. And if you want the most professional product you can come up with, then do it right. No corners cut. Okay, so in a few minutes, when we're ready to put this thing totally together, we're gonna use the double-sided tape to hold that area together and put that in. Now the handle, once we have this part sewn together, then we're gonna squeeze it up and we're going to sew all of that together. All right, I know that's hard to imagine right now, but once this is closed up, it'll be a lot easier, and that's when we'll sew the handle in, but not until then. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew this end together. All right, I'm gonna use a little bit of double-sided tape on the leather sides here. I'm gonna try to do this. But it's always easier to sew something that's being held with glue or tape or something like that than it is to try to just hold it together. A lot of the time I use little binder clips and stuff like that, but there's not a lot of room to hold stuff on this project. Okay, all I'm going to do is just line up these two squares with each other here and sew that down. Okay, so I'll just remove my paper off my double-sided tape. I was going to hand sew the rest of this bag, but we've got some time constraints, so I'll probably just machine sew these two and then hand sew the corners, which is the most difficult sew line anyway.
To battle!
Fluffy.
Meow. Oh, you're so fluffy.
Fluffy.
I'm going to be real generous with this sew line. It's going to be about 3/8 of an inch from the end, okay? Because that's how much room I allowed myself when I made the pattern. All right? If you sew it way out here on the very edge, and when you squeeze this together, it's going to be too big to sew to its side. All right? So I'm going to sew it about 3/8 of an inch in, and that way I've got plenty of room for fudging there. And fudging room's always excellent. Just like fudge is excellent. Yeah, and then we'll insert the tab and sew the other end closed. All right? So again, turn the camera on to the machine. I'm just going to take my little tab with me and a couple pieces of tape. That way we don't have to move back to the desk in between, and I can just explain everything from the machine. Okay, so I'm just sticking that together there. Now, I'm going to be real generous with this sew line. It's going to be about... Well, anybody gives for, and that's probably what they're going to do. To use my presser foot as my guide, I need to do this one and shove the rest of it through the throat of the machine here. Okay, once again, I got my little fingerprint. We'll take this off. Alright, got it lined up where I want on my grids on my board. Now I'm going to use my fingernail marks to make sure that left and right I'm centered. And we are placed. Don't forget, you can't have this zipper all the way up against the edge of your leather, okay? Not going to happen, because then the zipper head won't move freely up and down the project. All right? So now, going back to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew down these two lines right here. All right? So let me flip the camera around. Kind of embarrassing that you see all my mess while I turn the camera around, but this is a working shop. We get an inventory every day. Yeah.
It was supposed to overlap those.
Alright, now I do want to stress something. If you're using a sewing machine, when you put in a thicker piece of leather, the stitch length is going to change. It's just how sewing machines work. So, now that this thing had 6 ounces added to it, I am going to adjust my stitch length a little bit to make it a little bit longer, and then it'll actually be, kind of matching the stitch right here. Because those stitches will be side by side, so they need to look, they need to look similar. Alright, here I have the wrong one to do. To use my presser foot as my guide, I need to do this one. And shove the rest of it through the throat of the machine here. Alright, I'm just going to run it right now. All the way up against the edge of your leather, okay? Not going to happen, because then the zipper head. Yeah. Focus. There we go. Okay. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this thing, and I'm just going to center it where there's, about an inch, inch and a quarter over here, and about an inch, inch and a quarter over here, whatever. And I'm just going to take my fingernail and make marks right there and right there. Right at the ends of the, at these ends, but on this piece. Okay? And when I sew it all together in a minute, when they're separated, I'll know that, hey, that's where it needs to line up with the tops and the bottoms of this thing. All right? I hope that makes sense, but we'll see it in practical use in just a second. So I'm going to separate my zipper. Okay, now here's my little fingernail marks, so those will be right there at the top and bottom. Once again, I'm going to use my grid lines right here as a guide. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on one of these lines here. And then that way when I stick this down, I'll put it on another measuring line, and I'll know that it's at an even spacing all the way across, and it's flat all the way across. And then when I flip it around, I'll do the same thing on the other side, and that way the zipper won't be off center on the top of the project. Okay, so I need more double-sided tape. And I'm gonna, for ease, I'm gonna put it on the sides of this project, not on the side of the zipper, just because it's easier to put it on this big piece than to just keep it straight on the little zipper piece. And again, after we sew it all together, we'll trim off these extra. Already there. Together, here, and here. And one thing we don't want to forget is our little tab that we created for this. What I'm gonna do is just line up these two squares with each other here and sew that down. Okay, so I'll just remove my paper off my double-sided tape. I was going to hand sew the rest of this bag, but we've got some time constraints, so I'll probably just machine sew these two and then hand sew the corners, which is the most difficult sew line anyway.
I think I got it. Gosh darn it.
Okay, so I'm just sticking that together there. Now, I'm going to be real generous with this sew line. It's going to be about 3/8 of an inch from the end, okay? Because that's how much room I allowed myself when I made the pattern. All right? If you sew it way out here on the very edge, then when you squeeze this together, it's going to be too big to sew to its side. All right? So I'm going to sew it about 3/8 of an inch in, and that way I've got plenty of room for fudging there. And, fudging room's always excellent, just like fudge is excellent. That kid do it. All right, went right across that zipper just fine. Inside. All right, you're going to line it up. You're going to center it on your zipper. And center it right to left on the zipper, and you're going to line it up where the back end of it is about where the end of the dark brown leather is there. Okay? It's okay if you miss it a little bit on, if it's too far out. Not okay if it's too far in. Now, I'm going to remove the double-sided tape from the sides here so that I can stick the top to the bottom. And we can get to stitching. All right. Line all these lines up. I'm going to stick the leather together. And there we are. Now, we're going to sew all the way across all that, just like we did on the other end. And again, this bag is now like 85% done. We've got 4 more little sew lines after this one, and we're done. We can call this complete. I do want to stress, your little tab needs to run parallel to the zipper. Okay, you don't want it off to one side or the other, because then it won't be straight on the inside, or once it's turned right side out. The handle is going to be the tough one to do that, because we've got to sew this bag with the handle inside of it, and that is difficult, but we can do it. But I did it twice without messing up, so surely we can do one more.
Okay. Yes.
We have this free alcohol. Oh,
It's very frustrating because he didn't say like how much the stuff needs to overlap for it to work. Spray alcohol is by the not the faucet, but the outdoor folks.
oh, okay. I know where that is.
Oh gosh, it's 5 o'clock already.
I know. We gotta go with the kids then. That's crazy.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
What?
Another one.
Oh.
Second one.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh.
Uh-huh. There we go. That's the fourth one.
The fourth one?
Got it.
Like, what's the formula for just... Like, he didn't even mention anything about it. Like, where exactly it's supposed to go on the...
Oh, was it too tight or?
No, so, like, when I went to go full... So, I guess this is supposed to, like, match up. Like, this width, these widths are supposed to be the same, right? With the zipper and everything?
No, That's supposed to go in the middle.
Yeah, the zipper's supposed to go in the middle. But like they didn't say anything about like where the zipper's supposed to go.
I would also. Have you watched any other? Because I'm sure there's multiple videos on how to work with that. I'm sure.
Yeah. It's like that's their pattern.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's Tandy.
No, this isn't Tandy. This is Maker's Leather Supply.
Oh. Sold where?
Huh?
Sold where? We put it here last time, right? But we didn't have that.
So we didn't have that.
This.
It's still fine.
I can probably fit it over. If I take those, because that's all that stuff on the bottom, that can still stay on the bottom. I just pop it up over there. Because I'm going to be squishing. So that's the least in the way over there if we start putting stuff there, right? I think. It's a small table.
Yeah, put it there. Get the scraps put into that thing and put it up top. It's not in the middle of the.
Oh, I was talking about putting it here under the window.
Then it's gonna be hard to snap stuff. It'd be good right there. Right.
Going this way?
Yeah.
You're going to sew again, right?
Yeah.
It is warm in here. It's like humid.
Right?
Yeah.
Crumble.
These need to be squished. Gonna move them over to the squishing area. How long have you been working on that?
Longer than I should have been.
Where did we keep this before? Oh, it was in the corner.
Yep. Still not enough. It's like the zipper I'm using different.
It is chunkier, I think.